bakusanya majua yemwe bitusotia mwanga mtete chafuko kuteke bitesa nasi kuno wakubuka malakula na yuka wasa mbona malatula na bakate bene batesa nateli bya kutwala mwana wa muntu ngo bisa mudinisa atwa Kristo ngaba isando gendanga kukanisa abakade kucyalo ngo batukuye dero utabanambisa na yuko mulembe kwa mwoka tuli mukulo kutayira kisa Uganda maro mwaka ngatwabyo kubona yakona rulinge miyebete ngakatibira babisayi yakara ko ahore zitete ko bakatuse na myala omuzo mwana wakakatuba yalala kemusozi omulele kwa dotko mubuza kuandika kumasi kike musinga bajabenda bawandikanga kujasi obongo walanga shaku bajangale kumayasi yewabanga wasika katoze mambala kutunamira omusajja empalaisa omukiwato nenywelera ddala entunulira Uganda yefeno babuwenekaba atyagakaba mu kibuga ne mukyalo gegakongwa bodaboda bamekaba tugenzeko obutayimbwa bamekaba firidde mbina ebintu by'okwekalakasa salumanya ne nalumanya bonna mutaka tebakyasabika Example ya Uganda wana wengine wesibuka kundayo kati wamekaba tuze jiko sebika bingo mwana kubuza mabibi gabira kutaka nekati besimba kama yaslu kubuza mwamba nekati ya fayo wabanga unekoze tika kati besikata mwamba kukulaluka alamu balukuka ni basotia na zone zinaduka anekati ya bante Afrika ya lejume
we all breathing, crying, sad about Africa. But I want to make Africa a better continent. We want to have better stories coming from Africa. Especially, I want to hear good stories about Uganda. Not sugarcoating, not fabricated, but genuine story every day, years to come, where our grandchildren will live in happiness. Future generation, leaders in Africa, fellow Ugandans, a president of Algeria was brought back from Switzerland, 82 years. He wants to stand again. He's in the wheelchair. Commiseration to those who died in the Ethiopia airline. That was the second time, but of recent in Uganda, we had a near miss. The airline nearly crashed. Very sad. Don't you want to hear good stories from Africa? Of course you do. What have you done? I don't know. Possibly you sit there and you say, oh, that's not for me, that's for others, see, that is out to me, that's for the president, that's for the MP, that's for the minister. The answer is people, power, you the person, you can do something about our problems. A lot has gone on. My call, I'm calling all leaders in Africa. Just learn to address our problems, and you won't have any problems. You won't have any headache to manage to lead the people. Right now, Africa's got the youngest population. All the young people, they are not deluded. They don't feel safe. They are frustrated. What do? Don't shut them down. Don't give them money which is gonna be finished tomorrow. No, look about long term. Address their problems. Speak to them. We got so many young people now. Or you can describe them, or they are bayaye, they don't have anything to do, they are insulting, they are angry. It's good to be angry, and it's right to be angry. And by the way, when somebody is angry, that is when somebody says something of their heart. So we have to do something. Leaders in Africa, learn to address our problems. We've got now the internet. There is cyber war. Learn that people, they're gonna come out and speak out. They will do anything on their cyber world. No one can stop them, but you have to know how to address them. I've always said why we are now in Uganda. Why? Number one, I said to you, is about vote. People who don't vote, people who sell their votes, people who don't hold their representative accountable for their vote. We give our vote very easily. We forget, we suffer, there is no medication, no jobs, no housing, no transport. We are the people who are suffering. So, a lot of people might say, I make too much noise. I want to show you something. The policy. What is the policy? Simple word. It is about two things. It's about the rules, which you can change, and it's about the laws. So it is something to do with the politics and with something to do with the business. You set up policy in place, you have to implement it. But where is the problem? Have we got policies in Uganda? The answer is yes. Have we got people who are giving us manifesto? Every election, have they addressed what is in their manifesto? Answer is no, because facts will tell you. What we had last year, the age limit, Article 102B, was amended, but it wasn't in manifesto. When you don't put anything in manifesto, you don't have a mandate. What was right to do was to come back, referendum, inform us, and seek our permission so that they can amend the constitution. And from then, it has caused unrest in the whole country. 80% said no, don't amend. And that is gonna carry a burden to those who voted yes. It's got big consequences to our country. So the policies, when you make a policy, let's say, where does the policy come from? There must be a rationale. Let's say, what is the rationale? Like the president said, oh, people, they make too many Rugambo gospel rumors online, so we're gonna put OTT to stop them. Let me talk about social issues. Maybe there is a rationale that we've got teenager pregnancy. What's the best way to come and reduce and stop teenager pregnancy? We have to look at so many things. So the policy will be there, the MP will go and debate, but when they debate, they don't decide. In Uganda, things are being decided so quickly and so easily. Within days, it's being decided. No, it shouldn't be like that. Now MPs, everyone is preparing to bring a bill, useless bills. We want bills to tackle, to address social issues. Right now, what we have social exclusion. You don't support NRM, you don't get a job. You don't do this, you don't do. When anybody supports NRM, is going to assault people. No, that's not utterly wrong. When we elect a president, is meant to serve the whole Uganda. But when the president stands up and says, oh, you voted the wrong people, therefore I won't give you money, that is wrong. You should resign. You should not be like that. When you were president for Uganda. You should not say those who voted for Lukwago, they are on Bikufuru. No, that is wrong. And shame on you people who cannot condemn it. Shame on you people who are closer. When people are asking Bobby Wine who are closer to you, we don't want it. So who is closer to Museveni that we can be proud of? Secondly, Betty Kamya, Betty Anywa. Who is there? Chive Jinja, Moses Ali. Who is there? We can look at and we say we are proud that the president is surrounded by good people. So that is our Uganda. Back to the policy. There must be a rationale why we need to have a policy. So when the rationale is being brought, that rationale is not implemented. It's sent out to experts, technocrats. They look at the rationale. They look at the pro, the cons. They do research. They bring it back to the parliament and tells people what, and tells the MPs what they think. For instance, if it is OT, they look at the pros and the cons. They look at how it's going to affect people, how it's going to improve people. Is it right? Is it right to stop people being on social media because so and so has said? So that is where we are now. When the policy is approved, then we look at implementation. When you look at implementation, you come up with the interventions. You come up with the initiative. They must be sustainable. We have to look at that. There must be that it is within our limits. For instance, if it is about teenager pregnancy, we're going to look at initiative. What do we need to do? We need to get the girls, the young boys into schools, to keep them in schools. The time you keep them in schools, there is a chance it's likely you are keeping them away from danger. You know, in schools, they must learn about sexual education. Sexual education, it teaches them about the personal reproductive system, family trees, sexual diseases, what you do if somebody is sexually harassing you, if somebody is sexually abusing you. All that issues, all that information is valuable because we need children to know, to learn and understand. We don't need this, oh, Baganda do this, Banyankole do this, Basoga do this. No, we need people to be informed. That is empowering them. So if we teach, if from education, we look at community-based programs, we're going to have health promotion. We're going to have health education. Health promotion in the community is bottom to top. It is not top to bottom. You bring the community together. They decide what they want to do. The community plays a part. It could be your sister who can report your father that you are abusing your daughter. It could be your neighbor who can report. You know, there are so many ways we can help. We have to give out family planning, both to anybody who needs it to prevent the worst happening. We have to give family planning to reduce the sizes of the families as well. Many people in Uganda are having children for fun. That is not right. How are you going to feed them? How are you going to pay school fees? How are you going to dress them? If you want to go somewhere, where are you going to leave 5 children? Can't you think your body is wearing down? You know, you have to use family planning and stop it. Family planning to those who are young, we can give them when they need it. Emergency pill is valuable. You stop what is going to happen, the worst. There are people who are sexually active when they are very young. So we need to address those issues. We need to see how our initiative, they're going to work. Health education in antenatal care. We need to teach expectant mothers, what they need to know, how to keep their lives healthy, how to space their children, how to stop. If you allow people to have children as much as they want, you're going to be in trouble. The whole world is controlling the population. Why not Uganda? We need to control wherever. We need to control our population. Then we look at legal framework. What does it contain? We can put there that every child has got to go to school. It is a must every child to be in school from 5 years. And if you don't take your child in school at the age of 5, you can face the law. You can be prosecuted. Every child must access education. That is a sticking point. We need to understand that. The legal framework, we can say no sex for children under 16, under 18, whatever age we decide. Anybody who is caught doing that should be sanctioned, should not do any work, private work, which brings them in contact with the people. Those are dangerous people. The society must condemn those people. We must attach that. Our police, you must help us arrest those people who have sex with the underage. We need to evaluate. Evaluation is an important tool because it does help us to see what has worked, what has not worked. We have to look at that into details. We have to assess, and in evaluation we can have like pilot project. It means is a project, that initiative that you try something, you test. Usually it's for 1 year. You look at how it works, where you need to punch holes, where you need to put bridges, where you need to stop the holes. We need to look at the system in and out. We need to look at the health of the girls. So a policy is a policy that should be supported by the government. Therefore, the government must look at, we are having so many things which have gone wrong. I've told you, when you look at, and each policy supports each other, because these policies, the social issues, they are called health determinants. They determine your health, education, health, employment, transport, and housing. So when you look into that, what causes, what is the rationale? Why are we having children? Why are we having teenager mothers? Why are we having teenager pregnancies? It could be children dropping out of school because parents cannot afford. It could be people abusing. It could be that we've got religion who allow young children to get married. It could be cultural taboos that once you have your menstruation, they give away for marriage. A child getting married. No, that is utterly wrong. And shame on you men who go on to sleep with those young children. You shouldn't do it. What are you looking for? What if it is your sister? What if it is your daughter? Do you want somebody to do it to them? The answer is no. So I'm breathing for Africa. I can talk about many policies, what we can do to help our country. But we must have a policy in place. We must have people who understand what policy is, how to implement it, because the policy holds people accountable. you know, people, they can come, sign in, sign out. It can be a policy how you run your company, how you handle money. It can be a policy. If we had processes in place, if we had them implemented, people, they can ask, like I've heard so many times, they ask Bobby Wine, have you got policies in place? Have you what? But what about all those policies we had? Uganda is at 54 years being an independent country. What can we say about those policies which have been there since what you call Bazungu left? What policies? You go in the library, go and buy the Gazette. We got so many policies there, you know. So what have they done to those policies which has been in place? I watched the presidential election debate. I was highly impressed by Benoni Bilal on his policy about agriculture. Why can't we borrow that? Why can't the government use him? He's got the policy. Even if you don't ask him, he's got the policy there which you can read for yourself. It is there on public display. So we need people who understand the word policy. We don't need people who don't understand the word policy. Look at this policy. 5 years exemption, tax-free for investors. 5 years. And after 5 years, they close company, they open another one. What is a policy? A policy supports the government. A policy supports we the citizens. We benefit from the policy. You know, a policy supports who is an investor. You know, it is not one way. What are we attracting people for? You give them tax-free for 5 years. I've never heard anybody, you go in Europe, they give you tax-free. Why don't you ask yourself, people who are in diaspora doing all these jobs, odd jobs, they send money to Africa. Uganda gets $6 billion per year, $6 billion per year from diaspora. But have you ever seen any high commissioner sending money? Have you ever seen any ambassador sending money to their sisters, to their brothers, to their parents? There is something fundamental wrong. So I'm asking the government to look at people who knows, to appoint people who understand what the policy is. You know, you are looking at interventions. People doesn't know what interventions are. You are looking at initiatives. They don't know. Why do we go in rush every day? We bring a rationale, after 2 days, it's being sanctioned. MP, what do you sign for? You did not go to parliament to sign and get money. You're gonna be done, I'm telling you. You will lose your seat. So I'm bleeding, I'm crying for Africa. I'm bleeding, I'm crying for Africa. I look at so many Africans, you know, who just drown, taking risky journeys, going to Europe, going everywhere, just to go out of Africa. But you have to ask yourself, why? Because we got poor governance, which is not addressing their problems. And right now, all those who are in Africa, it seems, as we stand now, they've got, you know, they are standing up, they are talking up. And people, they say, oh, those are very rude. They are bad. Young people, they don't listen. How can they be? No, they are citizens. You have to address their problem. You have to understand how to engage Anglo people, how to deal with the angry people, how to address problems of angry people. So, however, people, we have to address whatever happens. The problems are too much, but we need people who understand the word policy, who can address the word policy. Henry Tigana sang this song. It's not my word, that he's crying for Africa. You know, you listen to that. That song is good. When he's saying he's crying for Africa. You know, all these words. That's why I said I like music. So we are crying for Africa. Everyone.
Bye.